Safe. I've come on here to do a little bit of a rant. I know no one's going to watch it, but okay. The Pioneer made a video recently about, fucking fitness standards, how this should be fitness, blah, 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 the stuff he does. Now, me personally, I want to emphasize I have no issues with the guy personally. I just think his content's a bit daft. Because he'll sit there and make one video saying, oh, no one on social media cares for your abs. No one on social media cares for your big bench press. The general population doesn't care. Good lighting, steroid, PEDs, and he's right to condemn PEDs. And also the other, but dude, in most of your videos you are shirtless walking around in the forest. You've got a good physique, and you go on about physique inflation damaging. What about yours? What about your physique? So all of us who want to train for bodybuilding purposes, we can't be proud of our results now. Is that it? I mean, I'm sure some of his fans will tell me I'm wrong when I say this, and I probably am. And then he'll say this stuff isn't impressive. It's dry. It's dry. Well, you can't do it. No offense, Adam. If you're watching this, I doubt you are. Because, to be honest, you've got a better life than me, you've got better things to care about, and I don't fault you for that. But, who cares about any of it? That sounds nihilistic as hell, but the general population, which you said in your physique inflation video, do not care for your abs. The general population do not care for you running. I work as a labourer, and I'll tell you this now. I've sat in bars after work, drinking 0%, because I don't drink alcohol, and I have heard people take the piss out of runners and mock them for running. The general population, when it comes to fitness, do not care. They don't care if you do martial arts, boxing. They don't care if you do parkour running. They don't care if you do just marathons or Tough Mudder, which, to be honest, I've kind of wanted to do Tough Mudder, but it's just not on my agenda right now. They don't care if you do bodybuilding. They don't care if you do powerlifting. I remember once I uploaded a video on my then Facebook, I don't have Facebook anymore, of me pressing, I think it was about 62.5 kilos above my head. 62.5 kilos. I think I was about 78 kilos when I did it. And some guy who I know personally said, well, that's not going to help you in a fight. I'm like, but I'm not a fighter. Why are you grading me on that? And yeah, it was just being a dick, but here's what it is. And how lifting heavy is useless. But at the same time, that same person, when in the old days, would upload videos of me running and upload videos of me, and all this was on my Facebook, it's long been deleted, doing just punch bag training and just this, that, the other. The same people would tell me all this was useless. Now, am I projecting some woes? Probably. But the truth is, the general population don't care. It doesn't matter what you do. You can walk on your hands, you could do flips, you could do Circus de Olay, you could do this, that, the other, but there's always going to be somebody in the pub who sits there and looks at you and thinks, fucking twat doing that. That's how life works. That's life, man. Deal with it. So you shouldn't care what the general public thinks. If you want to be a bodybuilder, and that's what you want to do, you do it, and you do it for yourself and yourself only. Now, another thing he brought up I think it was his latest one, where he's on about Red Panda from Britain's Got Talent. First of all, Britain's Got Talent is rigged, allegedly rigged. There's been outcries about it. Hell, a few years ago, didn't they get in trouble for having a stunt double dog? Also, the show is heavily edited. Heavily edited. We don't see what goes on behind closed doors. We don't see the full edited, unscripted episodes. Those episodes of it are cut down and shot and made digestible for 30 minutes to an hour. I don't know, I don't watch TV, because I think it's crap anyway. And plus, also, there's been multiple allegations against the show being fake. We don't know if Red Panda really was doing that, because there's no, governing body to prove it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Red Panda. If she generally can sit on a unicycle, do that stuff back and forth, we don't know what's going on. There could be someone controlling it. It could be made for her to be a bit more balanced. We don't know if the plates are real plates. For all we know, they could have magnets in them. I don't know. And I'm not knocking her for doing it. I mean, if she can do it, fair play to you. But again, you've said, when do you ever need to bench press that heavy? When do you need to have all that muscle? Well, when do I need to juggle plates? I've never worked in the kitchen, but I know people who do. And I'll tell you now, if you're juggling plates, that's a health and safety violation and you could get sacked for that. I work in manual labour, and before that, I was a gig promoter. I used to organise concerts for a living. And one of the guys that I kind of bumped into, I never booked him, he just showed up at one of my shows. He was a finalist on The Voice. He represented Nottingham. I can't remember the guy's name now. And he told me that it was kind of rigged a bit and all this. There were favouritism among the judges and what have you, and editing techniques of the TV show to create more compelling narratives to sway the general public into voting. And there's also been multiple allegations of these types of shows being fake anyway. You know, for those not in the UK, I don't know how things work outside of that. Like how X Factor, which has Simon Cowell, Britain's Got Talent, which he's also involved with, and various other things. There's been multiple allegations of those types of shows being fixed. So that's not really good. It's not really a good basis. And for the people who are into juggling, okay, why don't you just go juggle? You see street performers do it. Do you ever ask them about it? No. You can see people who do like kid shows, kid parties, do juggling. And I'm not knocking them. I think they're hard-working, noble people for the most part. I was even considering trying my hand at that, but I just didn't. It was one of those lockdown ideas that we all came up with and said we was going to do. Like most musicians, myself included, we'll chat a lot of shit about what we're going to do, but never actually do it. Fun. But anyway, another thing that he made reference to was Jackie Chan. Now, Jackie Chan as a person, I can't comment on because I've never met him, but when you hear some of the things he's done in his autobiography to his daughter, and, you know, well, the big thing is film. Those films, both the Jackie Chan ones and Hollywood and all this at the other, are just responsible for physique inflation and have got just as much steroids in them as everything else. I mean, come on. You mean to tell me that fucking Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, could eat that many calories and not gain fat? Get real. And as for Jackie Chan, the extremes, he nearly died doing his stunts. You do know that, right, Adam, from Armour of God, where he jumped off that castle? I think that's what happened. And I hadn't seen the film, but I read about it in the Jackie Chan Adventures magazine that he had to be rushed to hospital and he nearly died. When he jumped out that thing, landed on the tree branch broke. That's pretty extreme. And as for, you know, the other side of it, I know a guy who did parkour. His name was Headrush. That was his parkour name. His real name was Billy Head, and great guy. From what I remember, I hadn't seen him in a few years. He broke his knee doing a backflip. He broke his knee. So yeah, parkour, if you want to do that, it's cool, but there are extreme risks. And what's so functional about parkour? When are you ever going to need to do a flip in your life? Hell, when do you ever need to jump? I work in manual labour. I've never needed to jump in my life. I have to watch where I'm going and walking, but I've never needed to jump. And it's the same with running. When do you ever need to run? What, to catch a bus? If you have a car, you don't need to get a bus, or to catch a train, and possibly a plane. When do you ever need to run? And not just that, but if you're running in a busy street, you're a dick. You're probably going to get punched. If you run, all right, I've got an idea why you need to run. You need to run because you're a criminal. You're trying to get coppers to stop you. But if that's the case, then surely it'd be in your interest to get as big as you possibly can so you can't fit in a police car. Or a police van. There you go. I might delay your sentence a little bit. But even still, and in my younger days, yeah, Jackie Chan was cool. I did Taekwondo. I actually went to a seminar hosted by I can't remember his name now, but he was the blue Power Ranger in Lightspeed Rescue. He did XMA. He did a seminar about that, and that was tricking, and I like tricking. I still think tricking's cool. It's a very 90s, 2000 thing, but I still think it's cool. But a lot of those martial artists and all them, dude, they starved themselves too. Hell, Bruce Lee famously had a cocaine addiction. And he famously did a load of coke in order to get his physique to look the way it did. So it's all good as criticising steroided up bodybuilders. And again, no diss to them. But how can you sit there and say, this is bad, and then hold up someone like Bruce Lee, who had a massive cocaine addiction. I don't know about you, mate, but cocaine's a lot more prevalent than steroids. To the general public, anyway. And cocaine is a lot more dangerous. You don't pay that dealer, you're going to get fucked with coke. Anyway, I digress. Another thing as well that's really annoyed me about your content, and I know no one's going to watch this, I don't even think you'll watch this. I'm just venting to I'm venting to the winds at this point. You mentioned how, doing XYZ is more impressive than a bench press. And fair play if that's what your thing is, but some of us want that. Some of us want to have big bench presses. Some of us want to be bodybuilders. Some of us want that. We don't care what Gen Pop thinks. General population think we're idiots at the best of times. Like I said, when I'm in the bar, I've heard what some of these people who are out of shape and unhealthy think about people who take the health seriously. I've seen guys who drink 10 pints a day take the piss out of me for the gym. I've seen that. In fact, to backtrack, when I did martial arts, I trained at the Westdale Lane Martial Arts School. For those that don't know, I think her last name's Pyatharan, Zara. She was in Doctor Strange and she got arrested for sex crimes, not against me or anyone in that school, to my knowledge, or no one in my year anyway, at that school. I remember we had a martial arts show and I didn't attend it, but one of the big things on the poster was one of the martial arts performers they brought in was 3% body fat. So 90s martial arts and 2000s martial arts was all about getting shredded. It was. And like I said, Adam, if you're so we need to walk away from the shreddedness, put your damn shirt on. Put a shirt on. Hide your arms. Put it on. I try my best not to train shirtless anymore. And granted, yes, I train alone in my bedroom, and if I wanted to be shirtless, I could be. But again, I take more from the Dorian Yates playbook of I kept my shit covered because I've got a copy of that. I don't take Dorian's cycle, but I like bodybuilding. Hell, I even wear certain vests now on certain days because I got that from Jay Cutler. This is work uniform. Well, work uniform to me now. And to be honest with you, mate, if some of us want to be bodybuilders, that's fine. We don't need to be able to do a load of flips. We don't need to do handstand walks. In fact, again, the general population, I'm telling you now, if you said to someone, oh, well, I have the world record for handstand walking, do you think the general population is going to give a fuck? The general population go, well, you didn't make a career out of it, you didn't make that much money off of it, so it wasn't that fucking good, was it? It's like having a world record in a speedrun in an obscure video game, and I love stuff like that. It's a world record, yeah, but who fucking cares? You say no one cares about this or the other. You're right, no one does. So why do it? Any of it. You do it because you want to do it. If you want to be a parkour guy, be a parkour guy. You want to be a jack of all trades, like you've said so yourself on natural hypertrophy's videos, go ahead, do that. But don't be condemning us, the bodybuilders, those of us that want to do that. Don't use us as a way to kind of push your narrative. And again, I have nothing against Adam personally. He probably is a nice guy, and I'm not going to knock him for that. Hell, yeah, and the truth is, none of this stuff is fun. It's fun. None of this stuff is easy. It all comes with extremes. And the thing you mentioned is Circus de Olay, and that's fine, but Circus de Olay will beat you the fuck up. My guitarist in my band, his girlfriends used to do that. And that stuff, that takes a toll on you physically. Hell, some gymnasts are fucking battered now. Running takes a toll on you. Parkour takes a massive toll. Like I said, my mate Billy, head rush, did a flip, broke his knee. And he used to teach parkour. Accidents happen. You can get ran over running. You can fall over. GVS has even said running's more dangerous than lifting weights. And he used to be a distance runner. All this stuff is an extreme. All of it. Because think about it. You're going outside the box of society, quote unquote. You are not just going to work, you're doing something else with your time. You're not just coming home, sitting down and watching TV. You're not. You're putting your body through something that, quite frankly, we don't need to do anymore. You don't need to run fast anymore. Like I said, what are you going to do? Catch a bus? Miss your train? Well, get up earlier. You don't need to fight anymore. You shouldn't need to. That's what the police are for. As much as it pains me to say that, but, that's what the police are for. Let them deal with it. There's security guards these days, and security guards are buff. I've seen security guards pin steroids just to look more intimidating. It worked sometimes, but at the end of the day, man, for the people watching this, if you want to be a bodybuilder, and you don't be discouraged by content like this. Don't be discouraged by people like the Pioneer telling you you're not functional, not this, that, the other. First of all, if you just work an office job, yeah, sure, some exercises, and even some of the exercises he suggests will be good for you long term, but it's not going to make you any better at an office job. It's not going to make you type any faster, unless you do like a load of wrist work. It's not, and bodybuilding, like I said, I work in manual labor. It's not going to make me be a laborer any better, or move bricks, dig holes, and move stuff to a skip because of health and safety regulations. If it's above 20 kilos, it's a two-man job. Nowadays, maybe back in the 80s that advice held true, but no, times have changed, man. Times have changed, and my dad is a bricklayer. He's done all sorts, bricklayer, plasterer, all 9 yards. He's done everything. The only thing he can't do is electrics and plumbing. Manual labour is manual labour. And times have changed, so that way there's more safety measures in, so that way labourers, or anyone in construction in general, aren't being beat up and sore and battered in their later years. And that's a good thing. But that also comes with the softening up to a degree, and I don't say this in a bad way, the softening down of society. And that leads to people being, quote-unquote, more unfit, because the physical demands aren't there anymore. But that's not entirely a bad thing. Not entirely. If you want to go back in time to the time when there was no health and safety, and you either worked on the fields, or you died, or you went down the coal mines, well, sorry kid, but chances are you're not going to be able to survive that. And to be honest with you, some people, and this may apply to you if you're watching this, some of you take these new luxuries and comforts, you take them for granted. People fought and died sometimes for you to have those pleasures, if you will, those safety nets to stop builders and manual labour workers being banged up. So you don't need to go on site, move 100 kilos worth of bricks in one journey. Hell, when my dad was doing that kind of stuff, he told me, don't ever do it. It'll fuck you up long term. And it might. So, yeah. How can you sit there and encourage XYZ and be functional when so long as you can do your job fine, you're fine? What's quote-unquote functional in your eyes might not line up to health and safety standards. And to go back to Red Panda, I don't know if I said this, but when are you ever going to flip plates? Never. You wouldn't anyway, because one, it's massively dangerous, because if that plate falls on the ground, that's a hazard. If you drop a plate in the kitchen, everything stops. Yeah, it's ridiculous and nonsense. And again, I have no personal issues with Adam. I've never met the guy. But I am getting kind of sick of seeing these so-called functional gurus. And I get it, it's an industry, it's a business. But I'm sick of seeing people just slagging off bodybuilding. I'm sick of seeing it. All these so-called functional guys, yeah, you hate, but you don't, as said, he doesn't hate bodybuilding, okay. And physique inflation, all this. And he's not necessarily wrong about that, but why are you shirtless in a forest? Why? Well, this will help the general population. Dude, cutting your drinking down, cutting down on eating crap, getting a decent night's sleep, and fucking maybe even quitting your job and getting one that's less fucking to your boss, that'll do you good. What'll do you good is quitting vaping and smoking. Hell, the general population, I would argue, would benefit just from doing a couple of push-ups. And everyone would benefit from pressing weights a bit here and there. Being fit and healthy is not enough in this world. If you want long-term this, that, the other, And again, I'm not against that. But to be functional means to be something of purpose. If you're just a hobbyist weightlifter, this video doesn't really apply to you. In fact, if you're a hobbyist weightlifter, none of his content applies to you either. You're doing this because of fun. You shouldn't care what any influencers think. Well, I'm not an influencer, I'm just a dick with a phone. You shouldn't care. The only thing you should care about is having fun. And if having fun is slamming a med ball, which, again, I'm not against, but at the same time, if you're the other end, oh yeah, I just want to max out my reverse grip bench press because fuck it, it's fun. I don't care about competing because powerlifting meets don't encourage reverse grip. You just want to do a reverse grip bench and have the biggest reverse grip bench you can, you go for it, kid. You want to have a really impressive 2 hands anyhow, which a lift I used to want to break that record, but yeah, I just can't. I can't. But nevertheless, a 2 hands anyhow. When are you ever going to do anything like that in real life? Never. Does it look cool? Yeah. Do you need to do a barbell and a kettlebell for a 2 hands? No, but it's still cool. Yeah, hell, when do you ever need to do an iron cross? When do you ever need to do a Maltese? What are you doing that for? You want to do it. You want to do it because it's cool. It's all cool. Hell, the only people that are impressed by that are other men. Do you think when you're at a bar and you talk to a woman that she cares if you could do an iron cross, a Maltese, a 2 hands anyhow, a big bench? No, they don't care. I know guys who are bigger than me and more jacked than me that have girlfriends, and they do not care that their boyfriend is closing in on a 500-pound deadlift. Shout out to Dan Benton if he's watching this from Terrible Claw. But anyway, where was I going with this rant? The point is, you're doing this training stuff for yourself. Is it extreme? Yeah, but all fitness is extreme. Hell, doing what Red Panda did, a reference, that's extreme. Jackie Chan was extreme for the time. And again, you're doing this because you want to do it. You shouldn't care what's functional or not. You're having fun. Is life not painful enough as it is? I'm going to go to work at a job you probably hate. You've got potentially a family that doesn't appreciate or value you. You've got friends that don't share any common interests with you. You're kind of isolated and alone, possibly. And, just the one thing you want to do is just get to a gym, maybe do just some machines, maybe just do a little bit of curls, hell, even a few sit-ups. That's all you want to do. You want to just look better and feel happier in your own skin. And you come online, you just see this kind of crap about how it's not functional. Dude, nothing's functional unless it helps you in your job. And if your job, like I said, and keep stressing, has these factors of health and safety, it don't matter. Unless you're going to go into some kind of competitive sport, which, to be honest, some of you, it's over, mate. You're not going to be an Olympian athlete in your later years. You're not going to, and that's fine. And don't get me wrong, if you want to try that and break the trend, then go ahead. Good luck to you. At least you can say you did it. And yes, I'm sure Adam from Bioneer has some content that can apply to me and has some validity to his points. But again, it's your fitness journey. You shouldn't care, unless you want to, that is, about handstand walks, about crawls, about this, that, the other. If all you want to do is look good, go ahead. Just train like a bodybuilder. Just get the body parts up you want. You don't want to have a big chest, get big shoulders. You don't want a big back, get big legs. Well, skip legs if you want. Do what you want. It's your body. Do what you want. I'm not your dad. Unless, of course, I am your dad, in which case, stop this crap. Do something else with your life. But yeah, as you can see, I did not script this out. But yeah, I think that's just about everything. And again, stop caring. If you want to have that 5% body fat, is that healthy? Probably not. But is being able to do a load of flips healthy? No. It hurts. It takes the wind out of you. You're going to get beaten down and broken anyway. That's how our bodies are designed. When you're old, in fact, I'm going to quote Steve Shaw on this one. He said when he's in his 70s, he'll be happy just to get up and walk to the shops without any assistance. That's fine. If that's all you want to do, hell, if all you want to do is just do yoga, go ahead. But when do you need to do things like stand on your hands and put your head between your legs? like some yogi instructors encourage. You don't ever need to do that. But you're doing it because you want to. And it's your money if you're paying to go to a yoga studio, a gym, or a track and field, or whatever, or a martial arts gym, or a boxing gym. And that's another thing. Adam in the past has mentioned fighting. Well, if you want to be a hobbyist martial artist, fine. Or a hobbyist boxer, fine, but you don't compete. You are not registered on any athletic commission in this country, or whatever country you're on. You're not, unless of course you are. So you don't have to do what, say, I don't know, Mike Tyson or Tyson Fury did. If you want to, say, I don't know, go heavy on a trap bar deadlift, or just have a period doing nothing but Zercher squats for the fun of it. But you're not competing in boxing or kickboxing or MMA. So their rules of training don't apply to you. It's like GVS said in one of his videos about his physique. In fact, it was one of his latest videos where he said, I don't have to care what a bodybuilding judge wants. I can just build the physique I want. So if you're not competing in boxing, if you're not competing in marathon running, if you're not competing in track and field, like a triathlon, you're not competing in swimming, you're not competing in X, Y, Z, whatever, then you don't need to care for those rules and regulations. Is there benefits to all that stuff I just said? Yeah, of course there is. Of course there's benefits. But this whole obsession with health and fitness, first of all, unless you're eating healthy, you're going outside, or if you're going outside, you're going outside in a part of the country that's actually clean. I get I'm from Nottingham and we have a relatively clean city, all things considered, but some places, ugh, the smell of Birmingham's enough to make a man go crazy. How do they live like that? No wonder so many of them are on smack. But I digress. The point is like, where was I going with this? The point is, like, just do little things. You don't need to go to extremes, which Adam is right on, but the extremes, the examples he lists of fitness, they are the extremes. Jackie Chan is extreme, or at least he was in his younger days. Bruce Lee, the one all the functional guys are obsessed with, the man with a great physique, those Bruce Lee Cobra lats. Yeah, you achieve that through cocaine. That's a fact. To get that lean, you can't criticize bodybuilding and then put Bruce Lee on a pedestal. You just can't. And again, same with Jackie Chan. They're not combat sport athletes. It's Hollywood. Hollywood will convince you that Les Dennis can fight. It's all for the plot of the film, the TV show, whatever. And again, with Britain's Got Talent, no diss to Red Panda. If that was all legit, then wow. Not bad. I don't care for that stuff myself, but not bad. But it's TV. You don't know what goes on when them cameras are off. You do not know what we don't see. It's like Big Brother. It's cut into like a 2-hour, 1-hour summit TV program for the viewer. You don't see all the things that go on. For all you know, they could have spent 8 hours filming that Red Panda, whatever her name is, thing. You just don't know. And there's been a lot of outcries, like I said earlier, about it being fixed, rigged, and what have you. Again, with that stunt double dog. But again, I digress. It's still not real. You can make the argument that Sam Sulek, someone who, of course, he's popular and he's the one that the people at the Pioneer always like to bring up. Yes, Sam is on juice. I can't tell you what he's on. Yes, Sam is extreme in that regard, but that's what the kid wants to do. Are you going to sit there and say, oh, well, that under-19s football player is pushing it a little bit too hard for my liking, he's going to have no shins by the time he's fucking 30? No. Just let him get on with it. And yeah, there's risks, but there's risks to everything in life. God's sake, there's risks to everything. Before I even took up the gym, I had a coke addiction. I had a drinking problem and various other things. I'm not proud of it, and I'm ashamed of it, but the point is, it's very easy to fall into these traps. And I'm not encouraging steroid use ever. I think steroid use isn't worth it long term, and I'm not going to screw one habit over for another. But at the same time, let's be truthful with ourselves here. Fitness is a monopoly be it protein powders, over advertising what they do, and obviously what you see with the Coach Gregs of the world, you know, over expensive fitness programs that are just charlatans like Athlete X, people lying about their lifts and their physiques to a degree, and what have you, the fake plates controversies that multiple fitness influencers use. Yes, there's a lot of bullshit, and don't even get me started on our boy Hemingway. And I'm not saying the Pioneer is any of those things, but we can't just sit there and say that, you know, this, like I said, and I keep saying, bodybuilding bad, Bruce Lee good. We can't sit there and say, oh, well, look at this actor, look at this, that, the other. Well, first of all, one, you don't know how many takes that took. And even in the clips he used of Sporticus, and I never cared for Lazy Tan, I never bothered. I didn't care for it as a kid, and I still don't now. But Sporticus, no diss to him, but you can see there's no way he could physically do some of them flips. There was cables on him. And I'm not knocking Sporticus, the guy who was him in real life. If he's your inspiration, he's your inspiration. But you're not going to be a TV show character. That's not going to be you, especially if you're in your 30s. Your time's gone, mate. If you're just a normal person with a normal job, and that's not a slander on anyone. To be honest, you guys have got it great. You guys are smart. You've got it good. Yeah, sure, your life might always be what you want, but hey, you made the right choice. Just having a normal life. It's great. It's easy. It's fun, to a degree. But yeah, it's easy. It's nice. You're not going to be the next Sporticus. You're not going to be, the next Jackie Chan. That's not going to be you. They're the outliers. And I'm not knocking anyone who wants to try that. If you want to try and be that, you want to push it. And even if you don't make it, you're better than me. You did it. You did what you wanted. And like I keep saying, this is not a slander on Adam. I'm just pointing out the holes in his philosophy. For those of us that want the bodybuilding games, now, I'm not going to lie. Yes, I want to compete in natural bodybuilding. Will I ever have the money for it? Probably not. Will I ever do it? Probably not. Will I ever get anywhere with it? Will I ever get the natural pro card? Fuck off, will I? No, I ain't got the genetics. But I'd just be happy to make it to the stage. It's like I said once to someone who wanted to do dance. She said she always wanted to do dance, and she's an elderly woman. I said, well, if all you did was just like local dance, like a local theatre troupe or whatever it is, you still did it. Another goal I always had as a kid was to be a pro wrestler. Well, that ship sailed, mate. I've got 3 kids now. I can't be a pro wrestler. I could try, and it is something I've considered doing later in my life. Will I ever go anywhere? No, that's fine. I'd be happy just to do one show in Nottingham and one death match. As long as I do one wrestling match and one death match, I'd be happy. Even if you do, like, some of the things Adam's against, have a big bench press, and you do, like, one powerlifting meet, fair enough. At least you did it. That makes you better than the majority of people who spend all day saying, oh, well, I'm fighting this pub, I'm on my 10th fucking pint. I hate my job, I hate my wife, look at those prats out there, all that gym shit's worthless, all those fucking runners. You know what I mean? Fuck, man. You're doing something with your life and it makes you happy, so even if what I say goes against your principles, ignore me, possibly ignore the Pioneer. And don't get me wrong, if you want to be one of these functional guys, the jack of all trades without the trade, fair play to you, man, fair play, but don't just sit there and think, oh, if I do like bodybuilding or want a big bench press, I'm wrong. You're not. It's your life. It's your body. Do what you want.